Hey everybody, my name is Chelsea, and if you're watching for the first time, usually I don't start off my videos with an awkward dance party, but I felt like it today, so I was gonna do it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an intuitive healer and a hypnotherapist, and I help people turn trauma, anxiety, and self-doubt into love, empowerment, and compassion. And today's conversation is really near and dear to my heart because it's how to beat social anxiety, even if you're awkward AF. So this is very much something I used to identify with and still sometimes do. I acknowledge that I kind of operate on a different frequency from a lot of people, not higher or lower. My brain works differently. So social situations for me can be a real test, even to this day, even after all the work I've done around it. But these are some of the really big takeaways in all of the self-work I've done around on this. So, starting out, how do you even know you're awkward? Maybe you're not. Maybe the crowd around you just isn't operating at the same frequency that you are. For instance, I am an empath. So my energy is really, really good when it's focused on one-on-one. I can talk to a single person and I have no problem at all. But when I get in a crowd, I start picking up on other people's energy all around me and my attention span can't handle it. And I start kind of listening in over here to this conversation, but then I've missed half of this conversation that I was a part of, and then there was this, and I start getting that weird little like bobblehead kind of motion, and then I start feeling a little bit awkward in that scenario. But it doesn't mean that I am actually an awkward person. It means I'm quirky, and the funny thing is, people are really starting to appreciate quirky people. As long as you come from a place of authenticity. If you are authentically just a little left of center, that is an amazing trait. Are you kidding me? In a world of robots and sameness and people trying to fit in and people trying to conform to whatever crowd they're in, if you're just a little off, that makes you interesting. And yes, it may read as awkward to some people. It may be that some people have told you in the past that you are awkward, but that is not the real story. That's not true, my love. That just means that that person didn't quite get where you were going with whatever you were saying, but rather than admit that they didn't get it, they decided to turn that into a judgment and say that you were the awkward one. So keep in mind, if there's a crowd that you usually hang around with that makes you constantly feel clammed up and makes you kind of feel that anxiety and that constant like, oh, that was awkward. Oh God, that didn't. Maybe it's time to expand your social circle. Maybe it's time to start seeking out the people who are on the same frequency that you're on, who get your train of thought, who get where you're going with things. Because that will make all the difference. Social anxiety and social awkwardness will drop off like that once you find your people. And as you start finding your people, as you start getting more comfortable, that circle will also expand to different people. It gets easier and easier, but start with a core. Start with a person, a couple of people who just get you and who you get as well. And then start expanding out from there as that social anxiety begins to ease. Secondly, intention. Maybe you're hanging out with that group that makes you feel awkward. The intention, though, is what's going to make the difference of whether it's awkward or lovably quirky to them, at least in their mind, which we're really not trying to get anybody's opinion, because that's kind of what causes the social anxiety in the first place, is that, kind of pull towards the acceptance of others, which it's understandable. It's a very deeply ingrained fear in us, is that fear of rejection. But if we are, or if we do find ourselves in that kind of less easy, less natural social situation, we always do, what's your intention for the conversation? Whether it's at a party or a corporate thing or what have you, what's your intention? If your intention is for these people to like and accept you, anything you say, even if it is perfectly on par with the conversation, is going to come off a little subconsciously awkward in the group. Because people can tell that it's not coming from a natural place. People can tell energetically, vibrationally, mentally, subconsciously. There's a little red flag that pings for people when you're coming from a place of, please like me. Please like me. Please let this go over well. Please let this be accepted. And that's not to say that we all don't feel that in certain situations, but if you can bring your intention back to something more authentic, something like kindness. Can I bring kindness into this? Even if you compliment something that's totally weird on somebody, just because you have nothing else to say, like, I really like your shoes. It's going to read as kindness instead of awkwardness. If your intention is to bring laughter and joy to the conversation, so maybe a joke doesn't land, people will brush that off easier than if you make a joke trying to make them like you. Get where I'm going with this? So keep your intentions positive. Keep your intentions authentic to you. Maybe your intention for that thing, if you can't find anything else, is to relate to others, is to say, hey, I get where you're coming from. I may not be on the same exact wavelength, but if I were you, I would feel the exact same way, so I get it. Something like that, something with a positive intention will always go over 1,000,000 times better than an intention of please like me. That's number 2. Third and finally, if you're still feeling awkward, if you just can't contain this left of centeredness that is you and it's beautiful, and again, remember, you're talking to a girl with green hair here, so I have been through the gambit. And finally, if you are just on an amazing wavelength of your own, own it. Call it out. Own it. Love it. That is what makes you unique. And let me tell you, people love unique. People do love authentically crazy. Maybe not crazy, but authentically quirky, authentically weird, authentically less than center, authentically interesting. If that's you, be you. If you want to dress up like a pirate every single day and that actually just feels good to you, people will love the right people. The right people will love your pirateness. They will love the fact that you say huzzah instead of, oh, that's good. Who wants that? That's boring. Normal is boring. So the phrase that really became the winner for me, and the phrase that actually got me out of my own head and started helping me own my quirkiness and my awkwardness, it's why you love me. I can say something completely weird. I can say something completely socially awkward. People can tell me now, yeah, Chelsea's just a little weird. Chelsea's just a little strange. Yeah, and it's why you love me. And say that with confidence, because I guarantee for the people that really do love you, your weirdness is why they love you. For the people that are hanging out with you out of choice, for the people who enjoy your company, your awkwardness is why they love you. Because it gives them permission to be weird. It gives them permission to let out those little quirky thoughts that they have. It is really hard, guys, to be around perfect people. So stop trying to be perfect. Give others permission. Use your anxiety, use your awkwardness as your power. Use that to give the world permission to be weird as they like. Okay? I promise you. Sometimes it takes a little doing. Sometimes that first step to being like, oh, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be myself. It takes a little courage. And I know you've got it in you. But keep doing it. Keep practicing it. And if a joke doesn't land, go ahead and call it out. If your intention is kindness and a joke still didn't work out the way you thought it would, you can go, wow, that didn't land the way I thought it would, guys. And if you call it out, it takes away anybody else's power to call it out within you. Now, don't go around saying you're awkward. Don't go around owning that you're awkward, because I really don't think you are. Deep down, you're just on a different frequency. You're just keying into something that's the rest of the group isn't keying into. Or they're keying into something that you're not, and that's totally cool. Everybody operates on different frequencies, and that's what makes the world amazing. But own your uniqueness. Just know that you as a person are not awkward. You are not socially inept. You are not socially awkward. Because socially awkward is a judgment put on you by others. It's a reaction from others who don't want to admit that they don't understand where you're going with something. And that's okay. That's their own insecurity, and that will heal for them in time. But you are not awkward. You're unique. You are quirky. You are goofy. Sometimes you're a little out there, and we need out there people more than ever to give the rest of the world permission to be free. But that starts with you being free yourself, my love. So own it. Be proud of it. Be proud of the fact that you're not just some drone, because the world needs it. And you know what? It's why we love you. If this video served you, if you enjoyed it, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, because there's going to be a bunch of great tidbits coming out very soon. And you're going to keep getting those notifications to let you know when I've dropped a new video, and you might even see some more awesome dance moves. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.